Hey, running friends. Welcome to the Wrinkled Runner podcast. I'm Sherry, the Wrinkled Runner. I'm over 50 and I love to run wherever I go, but Buffalo, New York is my home. If you are looking to start to run or you're an older runner, this podcast is especially for you, so subscribe now. I love to help people get running and keep running. Okay, so we are on week 2 of the RRCA Start to Run program, and we are going to be starting with a warm-up. And I am really mad right now because I did this entire thing on the run. It went great. I was running through Forest Lawn Cemetery, and there was nobody around. It was nice and quiet. Got back to the house to edit it, and I forgot to turn on my mic, of all things. So now I'm doing it again, and I am doing what I did last week, which is sitting at the computer. So I tried to run with you. I did the run, but once again, technology got the better of me. So we're going to try this again. So we're going to start with the 5-minute warm-up, and we are going to do that right now. Now you can either walk this warm-up, and you can do that for 5 minutes outside or on the treadmill, whichever you're doing. And you can also do the knee grabs and butt kicks and all the other things that have been in our warm-up last week or the week before. So if you know what the leg swings and those things are, then you can go ahead and start doing them. And we have about 23 seconds left before you're going to go into either 30 seconds each for each leg swing, either front to back or side to side, or continue with your walking. And so you have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're going to do leg swings, do front to back, and you're going to do that for 30 seconds. Now, when you do a warm-up, you're warming up the body, and you can either walk, like I said, or you can do these different drills. And doing the different drills can help your body, help your legs, get used to the motion of running and start to get your body through 3, 2, 1, front to back, other leg, and get used to the motion. And that's what drills do. That's what A-skips do. A-skips are showing your body how to run, how the best way to that is ideal. Now you can get into all this form stuff and things like that, but it's best to run how you run, and there can be other things that you'd want to do with form. 4, 3, 2, 1, side to side leg swings if that's what you're doing. As you get going, but for right now, don't worry too much about that. Just run how you're going to run. But doing these different drills and things can help your body to understand running and what it is that you're wanting it to do. And after these leg swings, you will then have 2 minutes to get dressed or do whatever you need to do to get out the door. So other side, and then you will be able to go out the door and walk for the rest of the 2 minutes. Now, this week we're going to be going for a 2-minute run and a 3-minute walk, okay? And that is just 1 more minute of running more than last week, 1 more minute less of the cool down. Okay, and now you have 2 minutes to be able to get outside or whatever, on the treadmill, whatever you happen to be doing. Now, when I was in Forest Lawn Cemetery and I was doing the warm-up, it was so nice and peaceful. I mean, I cannot tell you how great that podcast session went. But when I went to edit it, when I got back, it was silent. So I'm leaving for Disney tomorrow and a Florida vacation with 4 out of my 5 children and all of my grandchildren. So I was trying to get everything done and situated before we left. But of course, that doesn't ever go the way it's supposed to go. So I should have known that something was going to go wrong. But anyway, what I was saying when I was going through the cemetery is that it is a nice, peaceful place for you to get your runs in, that you don't have to deal with traffic. You don't have to deal with lights and trying to cross the street. And, everybody is usually quiet. Now, when I started running at the cemetery, which is about a quarter mile from my house, um, I went on the website to make sure that running through the cemetery was something that you were allowed to do. I didn't want to be disrespectful to anyone who was there. And if I see somebody who is, or a processional, or somebody by a gravesite or a service going on, I do slow down and just walk as far away as I can, on the other side of the road from where it's happening. But the website for this particular cemetery really encourages people to have picnics there, or to ride their bikes, sit and meditate. They encourage people to come and kind of use it as a park. So if you have a cemetery near you, run for 2 minutes. If you have a cemetery near you, you may want to check online and see if that's someplace, or if that's encouraged for you to go and use that as somewhere to run. And I like to do a lot of my runs there. In the wintertime, the streets are plowed, and it's just a nice, quiet place to be able to get away and get my runs in. I also like to do my speed work there, because it allows me to keep pace without having to stop for the lights and for traffic and for people and all that kind of stuff. It's a really nice big cemetery. It's a great cemetery, actually. And I really do love running through it. And I can tell you that when I recorded the podcast probably an hour ago there, it was a great run. So I will probably do that again for the next run, and hopefully everything will go in my favor, and I will remember to turn the mic on. So in about a minute, you are then going to recover for 3 minutes and walk. So some of the things that I talked about when I was in the cemetery, I will try and touch base and talk about again. And one of the things was a 5K. And that is probably where you're going to be at or near when you are done with this training program. You will probably be at or near 3 miles, and you should be able to run a 5K or walk a 5K. And if you are a goal-oriented person, then getting out there and going for a 5K race would be a great way to end your Start to Run program. And I know I talked a little bit about this last week, about finding a 5K, 2, 1, recover for 3 minutes. Last week I talked a little bit about that. And if you can plan out when your 10 weeks is going to end, and then look around your area and see if there's a 5K anywhere within, 3 weeks or 4 weeks of your ending the Start to Run program, that may help keep you motivated to keep with it and keep with the program. And when you are able to do that, don't try to go for any kind of particular time or anything like that. Now we're running by minutes, not miles, and we're not running by any particular pace. You're doing what you can do. So at first, when you start racing, if you start racing, that's not a requirement, but if you start racing, look at it more as just trying to complete the races. And when you do have some races under your belt at particular distance, say you do 3 or 4 5Ks, then you might want to try and do it by pace and try and figure out where you would like to be, and have kind of what's called a PR, a personal record, or a PB, a personal best, and try and beat the other 5Ks that you do. And in those cases, you may want to get a particular training program that will put in some speed work and other things to try and get you faster and get you into more of a performance mindset, and then just do some races and see where you end up, see where you stand. And I know for some people that is something fun is racing. For other people, they just want to run and they really don't care much about it. I didn't care much about it until like a few years ago. I did some races, but I never really thought much about being competitive until probably 5 years ago, maybe. So it is not something you have to do, but some people find it extremely, setting that goal extremely motivating. So next week, we are going to be running more than walking. In that will be week 3, and we'll be running for 3 minutes and only walking for 2. So some of the things that I want you to pay attention to when you do this are little niggles that may happen, especially in the back of your ankles, where you can get some tendonitis, which is inflammation from overuse or just starting out. You can have some hip issues, groin, I mean, really anywhere in your body, depending on your personal physiology, things can start to happen and you can start to get injured. 1, run for 2 minutes. And obviously, we're trying to avoid that. I don't want you to do that. So I want you to get to know your body so that when something starts to happen, something you might get a little niggle, that you're able to pull back and you're able to say, okay, I can't move up to this next level. I have to stay at the 2-minute run, 3-minute walk for, another 2 days, another week, whatever need be, so that until you're feeling strong enough to be able to go to the next level. And that can be very hard because I know we want to check off those boxes, but preventing injury now and taking it easy now will go a long way to keeping you running instead of running yourself into injury, and then you can't run for however long it takes to heal from that injury. The other thing that is going to happen next week is you're going to run for 4 days instead of 3 days. And again, I want you to be very cognizant of what is going on in your body, so that if your body is telling you it doesn't want to add a run minute, lose a walk minute, and add an extra day, that you're able to recognize that and take the extra rest day and only do it for 3 days. And then maybe the following week you do the same thing, the 3-2, but you do it for 4. So there are different ways that we need to adjust our training for ourselves, and you need to be able to listen to your body even when it's very, very hard. And I know, because I'm like that as well, where I want to go all out and I want to do everything the training is telling me to do no matter what. And I've had to learn 3, 2, 1, walk for 3 minutes. I have had to learn to adjust the training for myself and take the extra rest day if I need it, to, not hit paces that I should supposedly be hitting based on the training. And it can be very, very hard to do that. And I'm telling you now, you are going to go so much further in your running if you can learn to adjust your training now instead of waiting until you have some kind of injury. Now, I'm not saying, if you're a little sore the next day, that you chuck everything and, take a week off. But if you are in pain, if you're hurting, if, walking is painful, those are indications that you're doing too much too soon. The other thing is, even with the 3-day a week, and which I mentioned last week, and then with the 4, when we start the 4, don't do them on consecutive days. And what I mean by that is don't do the runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Obviously, as we up the days, how many days you're going to run, and you'll end up running 5 days by the end of this, you are going to have to run some back to back. So, but only run like Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, run Thursday, and then run Saturday. Break it up so that it's going across the week. You're running, every few days. You are going to have to do back-to-back once in a while, but don't run all your runs for the week on consecutive days. You're asking for injury. You're not allowing your body to rest and recover. And rest and recovery is a huge part of training. And we'll go into that more when you are running 8 minutes with only a 2-minute rest. But rest and recovery is part of your training. And it's not a slack off day. It is repairing those muscles and repairing the things that you're doing to your body so that they do get better. So the next thing I want to talk about is some good running habits that if you get into now, you are going to do yourself such a big favor. So many of us who run, we either ignore some of the things that I'm going to talk about, or we slack off, or we just don't do them. And if you can learn now to get into these habits and start off your running journey doing these, you are going to go such a long way in having an all-around training and training more like a pro does than just someone who's just getting out there and running. Okay, let's see. Recover, run for 2 minutes. The first thing is warming up. And you're already doing that because it's part of the program. And so it is a great habit to get into, is warming up. For years, I did not warm up. I just walked outside and just started running right away. And the reality is, when you are, even if you do that, your body is warming up. You're warming up whether you are cognizant or not. And warming up smartly, though, is the walking for 5 minutes, doing the drills, doing some of the warm-up dynamic stretching to get your body ready to run. When you just go out and run, it usually will take you 5-10 minutes to kind of get in the groove. And as you run more, you'll notice that. I notice that it takes me a mile or two before I really feel like I'm in the groove. And thank goodness, I started running more than a couple of miles, because if you kind of feel the same way I do and you run the first couple miles and it just feels awful, and you decide, well, I can't do this, running's not for me, it's too hard, it feels yucky, and you never get to the point where you do kind of get in the groove, you'll never know how far that you can get and how many miles you can get up to running. So just know that, and they always say this, the first mile when you run, it's a lie. Don't listen to it. It's probably going to feel yucky. But if you warm up, you're going to go a long way to not feeling like it's a big yuck. You can get that body warm and get those legs ready to go out for the run. And I just find that it helps so much in getting me to where I feel like it's a lot easier. Okay, we're recovering for 3 minutes. So you can find more warm-ups online and go, like at Runner's World. There is a paywall with Runner's World, but some of their articles are available. There are runnersconnect.com is a place that I really like. I'll link below to, or not below, not on YouTube. I will link in the show notes to different resources for different warm-ups, because I know I don't like to do the same thing every time. Now, in the summertime, I'm more apt to just walk as my warm-up, but in the wintertime, I like to do it in the house and actually get my body warmed up before I head out the door. The next thing I want to talk about is a good running habit is fueling. And that can be a very difficult thing to talk to new runners about, because a lot of you get into running to lose weight. And that is how I got into running, was to lose weight. Running for me was just one of the ways that I exercised when I decided when I was 39 to lose weight. So I was in, a full-on diet kind of situation, and I would eat all the low-calorie foods, the little cups of 5-calorie gelatin that is no sugar but loaded with chemicals. I drank diet sodas all day, every day. I'm not going to actually say what I used to make out of, because it could be, I don't want to give you bad ideas, but I did not eat healthily at all, which means I was not fueling my running at all. Now, like I said, running really wasn't a passion of mine back then, where now it is, but fueling properly and healthily will not only help your performance, but it will help you if one of your goals is to lose weight and to get in shape. You can eat five calorie gelatins, but that's actually just liquid. And it's why gelatin is on a liquid diet when you're in the hospital after surgery or whatever, because it's not going to fill you up. It's gonna, you might be satiated for a few minutes, but it's not going to feel filling to you. But if you take that same 5 times 5, 25 calories, and apply it to carrots or tomatoes or, whatever vegetable, you are going to get a lot more out of that. And so really seeking out good nutrition and fueling well as a runner is going to help everything about your life. And performance, if that's one of your things that you want to get better at with running, okay, and run for 2 minutes, and here's a word from our sponsor. Achieving your body's peak muscle response is crucial for maximum athletic performance. I am so glad that I found the Amino Company. They offer a 100% science-backed essential amino acid formula called Perform that helps build your endurance and prepares you for harder workouts. Perform has been scientifically proven to improve muscle performance, reduce fatigue and recovery times, and increase the benefits from those workouts. You can check out their science by visiting aminoco.com/WR30. Perform has been my go-to pre-run fuel source for a couple of months. Because I usually run or work out early in the morning, putting together and then eating a full meal is not something that is convenient. I can keep my pre-made pink lemonade Perform in a water bottle next to my bed and drink it as soon as I wake up, so that the benefits of having a pre-run snack kick in as I get ready to go out the door. I'm very careful about the kinds of things that I put in my body, and I'm also careful about accepting the offers from companies that have wanted to partner with me over the years. I'm happy that I found a product that I use and like and can introduce to all of you. In Amino Company's clinical trials, muscle protein synthesis from exercise more than doubled by using Perform. Perform was created by Dr. Robert Wolf. As a former Harvard professor and competitive athlete, he has completed 62 marathons in under 2 hours and 30 minutes and is still fueling his body with Perform at age 75. If you're looking for a nutritional advantage when it comes to boosting your peak athletic performance, I recommend you give Perform a try. It's scientifically 3 times more effective on a gram-for-gram basis than any protein source. And right now, when you visit aminoco.com/WR30 and use the discount code WR30 at checkout, you can get 30% off and get a free gift with each new purchase. Recover for 3 minutes. Okay, let's get back to fueling. Just like in this, our sponsor, the Perform that I was just talking about is something that can help me when I'm going to go for a run. And so I like to eat something before running. I keep a bottle of that, like I said, next to my bed so that I am fueled up before I go out for the run. And just like, trying to start your engine in a car, you need gas. That's what fueling is for. Now, I know, some people go on keto, some people, there are all these different kind of diets that people adapt and do. And there are runners that can do the keto diet, but I am not one of them. I need my carbs. If you know anything about running, you know that carbs is one of the things that we do encourage as coaches for people to fuel up on, because it helps your glycogen stores. It gives you the glycogen that you need in order to perform. And carbs, it's not something that you need to be afraid of. You can do it smartly. And even if you're trying to lose weight, fueling your body with the right things that help your running performance, when you have good running performance, that will in turn help get your body in shape. And the adapting that your body's going to do and the musculature that you're building when you run correctly with the fueling that you need is going to help lean you out. So please, if you are running to lose weight, please do it smartly. I recommend the book Finish Line Fueling by Jackie Dicos, and I will link to that below. It gives you recipes and really kind of goes into depth of all the different things that you need as a runner. And if you can get the fueling portion right now, when you're just starting out, and you can fuel your runs correctly and your body correctly, you are going to go in such a great direction instead of descending into what can be eating disorders, disordered eating. I was there. I know what it's like, and it can be scary, and food becomes this all-consuming thing. And now for me, running is an all-consuming thing, and I fuel to run. I fuel for performance. And if you can get the running or the fueling thing correct now, then you're gonna be amazing at running because you're fueling for performance. The other thing that is important as a runner and is a good habit to get into, and run for 2 minutes, is strength training. That is one thing that I think it's probably I won't say number one because I don't know any of the statistics, but from what I've seen with other runners, it's probably the one thing that we fall off the wagon on the most. We'll get into strength training, we'll do it for a bit, and then we don't do it anymore. And then we realize it's a good thing, so we get back into it, and then we fall off the wagon again, and we don't strength train. Strength training is very important for runners, and your muscles and the things that you use, especially in your legs, if they're not strong and stable, then you can get into kind of an injury situation. So what I'm trying to do right now for myself is I'm in this off season, I call it, because I'm not really training for any kind of races right now, is I'm focusing on my hips and my glute area. Now, if you've seen pictures, or if you saw pictures of me as I was running, racing, and whatever, you would see that I have a hip drop issue. And that is usually because your glutes and your hips are not strong. And that's what I'm trying to kind of correct and get better with my strength training. And now that I've learned that there are specific strength training things that you can do just for running, that helps motivate me a bit more than when I was just strength training for strength training's sake, and just, every week I'd find a different strength training program online or a routine, and I would do something differently every single week. Now I've kind of narrowed it down to ones that I can use for enhancing my running performance, and I do those same things every week. Okay, and recover for 3 minutes. And so if you go to strengthrunning.com, you can see a lot about strength training for runners. Runner's World has some really good routines, and again, there's a paywall. And because I'm a subscriber, I don't know which things are available for you or not. So I'll link you to runnersworld.com, and you can kind of see if there's things available. Now, what I have found is if you go to Runners World UK, that they're a little bit more open with their stuff. So I'll link you to that but down below as well, and maybe you can find some strength training on there. RunnersConnect.net has some strength training routines. There are books that will have strength training, but that is a habit that if you can get into it now, oh my goodness, that is going to be such a great way to help your performance and get you stronger faster, and get you faster as you start to run more. There are specific exercises that you can do that is just running specific. The other question I get a lot with the strength training is, what should I do first? Should I strength train first or should I run? And I am not sure what the optimal thing is, but for me and for most runners, because running is our sport, we do the run first because, I don't want my strength training session to interfere with, say, any strength work that I'm doing or whatever workout I'm trying to do. I want to be able to do that well. And so if I, strength train for half an hour and then go out and try to hit my paces, I may not be able to on those fatigued legs. So I come back home when I'm already in my running clothes. So I'm already dressed and ready to hit the gym. Now, I have a gym in the basement, and that is one of the best things I ever did was get a home gym and some dumbbells and be able to just go downstairs and do what I need to do. Now, there are exercises that you can do for strength training that you don't even need any equipment. Squats, lunges, those are great for running. You can go on YouTube and find online, and I'll link you again to some good resources for that. Just body weight exercises that you can do as strength training. The other thing I'm doing is, because of that hip drop, there are hip and glute exercises that are specifically for that hip drop that I'm talking about that I have. And I'm working on that as well. So if you can get into the habit of, you only need to do it like twice a week, 3, 2, 1, final run for 2 minutes. If you can get in the habit now of strength training before or after a run, then it's just going to be something that you do like brushing your teeth. And the habit of running, if it becomes a habit, then it's going to be easier for you to do that, even when you don't feel like it. If you have this time that you can go out for a run and it's your me time, that is one of the best things for your mental health. It gets the endorphins flowing. You can, have conversations with people in your head. Now, just be careful, because when I have conversations with people in my head, usually it's because I'm mad at them. And I tend to go faster. So if you're supposed to be doing an easier run, like all these runs are supposed to be for you, maybe have a pleasant conversation with somebody in your head. Don't have a gripe session in your head. Or at least if you do, try to not go as fast, because I know I tend to run a lot faster if I'm having an argument in my head with somebody. But making it a habit whenever that is good for you. I personally, I'm not a morning person. I've decided I'm not an anything person. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a night person. I'm not a whatever, afternoon person. But I do like to get those runs done in the morning so that the whole rest of the day, as things happen and things come at me, I don't have to think about, well, I still have to get this hour run in or whatever it happens to be. I like to get it done in the morning. I like to roll out of bed, get that run done, come home, okay, and recover for 3 minutes. And then I don't have to think about it the rest of the day. It's a funny thing that I love to run so much. It's one of my pleasures in life. I am passionate about it, but I still like to get it done. So I like to get that run in. And if you can pick a time that is your time to run and be consistent with that, that will go a long way to making running a habit. Now, I do realize that for a lot of people, this is a means to an end. You're trying to lose weight. You're trying to get in shape. You need to be healthier for a chronic condition or something like that. So I understand that not everybody is going to have the passion for running that I have. But if you can make it a habit, if it's just like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, whatever, and you can do it at a particular time on the days that you run, then the times that you really don't feel like it, it's almost going to become automatic that you're going to go for that run. If it's after work, going to the gym, doing it on the treadmill, whatever. Try to pick a time that's yours. Look at it as your time and just, think through your day, plan out your vacation, do whatever you need to do. Listen to a book like I was talking about last week. listen to music. There are so many different things that can happen on the run while you're running, and it just helps keep the day grounded. And it's just a great thing. I can't, I wax poetic about it because it's something that I just love to do. But I do know that not everybody loves to do it. But make it a habit and add those other habits in with it so that running just becomes a part of you. And who knows, in another year, you may love it just as much as I do. You may drive everybody crazy with how much you love to run and talking about your running and going to the running store and getting new shoes all the time, and it can just be a passion for you, and I hope it does. Now, if you are having any trouble with any part of this program, please, please, please let me know, because I am also passionate about helping other people learn to run. It's one of my favorite things. My favorite clients are those who've never run before and are just starting to run. So I want to know, first of all, that you're doing this. And I want to know if you have any questions. If you have any trouble setting up your intervals for the other days that you're having to run, that you're not listening to me, cool down for 5 minutes. Also let me know, because I can help you set that up and direct you to different interval apps that you can use and how to set those up so that you're able to do that. So next week, like I said, you're going to be running 3-2. For the rest of this week, what I want you to do is 2 more times. I want you to do this run, and I want you to research fueling. I want you to research strength training, and I'll link you below to the resources that you need to be able to do that homework. I'll also link you to some more warm-up material, because in a few weeks I will be telling you, okay, this is our 5-minute warm-up, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. I want you to find the warm-up that is good for you so that you can learn how to do that. My goal when I'm coaching people and talking about running is to get you to a point where you're comfortable making your own decisions about your running. So I want you to be able to do that. And even though, I'm online and I'm quote unquote an influencer, I hate that term. I hate, I'm not on social media 18 times a day. I don't do all my stuff where I'm, posting all this stuff in a month in advance like some people do. I want to influence you to run, but I don't want to be known as a running influencer in the social media sense. So I may not, be on Facebook every day, may not be on Twitter every day, but I do want to encourage you and influence you to run. So please, if there's any questions, if there's anything that you want to know, go ahead and email me at sherry@wrinkledrunner.com and let me know. Let me know that you're doing this, because I want to do a live one of these. On week 10, I would love to do a live one. And I want to know what times are good for everybody so that we can run our first 30-minute run together. And I'm going to be setting that up so that, the majority of people who are listening and who are doing this can do it all at the same time live with me. And so please let me know if this is something that you are doing, and let me help you if I can with any questions that you may have. Now, next week, like I said, it's going to be 4 times during next week. So carve out those times now. Carve out those 40 minutes so that you know that this is when you're going to do them. And then go ahead and get that research done that I was telling you about. Start fueling now start getting used to the warming up, the fueling, and the strength training. And I know that's a lot to throw at you at once when all you're trying to do is start to run, but I'm telling you, if you can get these habits down, it's going to go far in your running. And by next summer, next fall, if you're doing this in January when I'm putting this out, you're going to be running for 45 minutes to an hour, and you're going to be actually getting mileage under your belt, and you're actually going to probably need to start buying running shoes earlier than you think you're going to have to be. So you are a runner right now. You are a runner. So I want you to start thinking as a runner and thinking about training as a runner, because that is what you are. There's no magic mileage or time or pace that makes you a runner. What makes you a runner is that you run. And that's what you did today. You ran. Last week you ran for 6 minutes. This week you ran for 12 minutes. Next week you're going to be running for more than that. So every week you're running more and more. And as you do that, you need to start developing now as a runner and as a trainer. Okay, you can hear that? That means your workout has ended. Congratulations on completing week 2. Thanks for listening, and I will run with you next week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you know another runner who could benefit from today's topic, go ahead and share it. Do you have any running questions? You can ask me. Email me at sherry@wrinkledrunner.com, and if I can't answer your question, I will do the research to find the answer and share it with you. The questions I get from listeners like you help me develop episodes, so please don't be shy. You can sign up for my once-a-month newsletter using the link provided so that you can have all the Wrinkled Runner resources from the past month all in one place. I also have opened up my virtual coaching in addition to coaching one-on-one with those in the Buffalo, New York area. So head to my coaching page on the Wrinkled Runner website, which I will, of course, link to, and check out how we may be able to work together. Until next Monday, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the run.